The mistake. Captain Sarah Chin stood on the bridge of the human ship called New Hope. Her crew had been traveling through deep space for 6 months. They were explorers searching for new planets and resources for Earth. "Captain, we found something," said Tom, the ship's scanner officer. His voice was excited. Sarah walked over to his screen. "What is it?" "A planet. But it's strange." "Very strange," Tom replied. The planet appeared on the main screen. It was dark purple with red clouds. Around it floated dozens of metal structures. They looked very old, maybe thousands of years old. "Those are space stations," said Maria, the science officer. "But I've never seen designs like these before. They're ancient." Sarah felt curious. In 5 years of space exploration, humans had found many empty planets. But they rarely found alien technology. This was special. "Take us closer," Sarah ordered. The New Hope moved toward the planet. As they got near, everyone could see the structures more clearly. They were massive, bigger than Earth's largest cities. Strange symbols covered their surfaces. "Captain, I'm not reading any life signs," Tom said. "These stations are dead. Nobody's home." Sarah made her decision. "Prepare the landing team. We're going inside." 2 hours later, Sarah and 5 crew members floated through the airlock into the largest station. Their suits had lights that cut through the darkness. Everything was silent. "Dead. This place is like a museum," whispered Jake, the security officer. "Everything's just frozen in time." They walked through long corridors. The walls showed pictures of strange aliens. These aliens were tall, with 4 arms and faces like insects. They looked powerful. Scary. "Captain, look at this," Maria called out. She stood in front of a huge door. Above it, symbols glowed with red light. "Can you read it?" Sarah asked. "No, but my translator is trying." Maria held up her device. After a moment, words appeared on the screen. "Sacred chamber. Do not enter." Everyone felt uncomfortable. But humans are curious by nature. Too curious sometimes. "Maybe there's technology inside we can use," Sarah said. "Technology that could help Earth." "Open it." "Captain, are you sure?" Jake asked. That warning seemed serious. Sarah thought for a moment. Every instinct told her to be careful. But Earth needed resources. Earth needed new technology. This could be important. "Open the door," she ordered. Maria pressed some buttons on the door's control panel. Nothing happened at first. Then the door shook. Ancient mechanisms started moving. Slowly, very slowly, the door opened. Inside was a large room. In the center stood a crystal structure, glowing with blue light. It was beautiful. Hypnotic. "What is that?" Tom whispered. "I don't know," Maria answered. "But it's giving off massive energy readings." Sarah stepped closer to the crystal. She could feel warmth coming from it. Around the crystal, more symbols glowed on the floor. They formed a circle. "Captain, I don't think we should touch anything," Jake warned. But it was too late. Sarah's foot crossed the circle of symbols. Immediately, the crystal began pulsing. The blue light turned red. An alarm started screaming throughout the station. The whole structure shook violently. "What did I do?" Sarah shouted over the noise. "The crystal. It's sending a signal." Maria yelled, checking her device. "A signal going out across the entire galaxy. Can we stop it?" Sarah asked. "No. It's too powerful." The team ran back to their ship as fast as they could. The ancient station was waking up. Lights turned on everywhere. More alarms joined the first one. Back on the New Hope, the crew watched in horror. All the stations around the planet were activating. They all started sending the same signal into deep space. "What have we done?" Tom asked quietly. Sarah's hands shook. She knew they had made a terrible mistake. But how terrible? What did that signal mean? "Captain, we're receiving a response," Tom said. His face was white with fear. "Multiple responses. Hundreds of them. They're coming from all across this region of space." "Who's responding?" Sarah demanded. "I don't know. But Captain." Tom looked at her with frightened eyes. "They're all heading here. Fast." 3 hours passed. The crew watched their scanners nervously. Then they appeared. Ships. Enormous ships, bigger than anything humans had ever built. There were dozens of them appearing from hyperspace. The ships were black, covered in sharp angles and weapons. They looked designed for one thing: war. "Oh no," Maria whispered. "I found information about this planet in our database. It's called Zarkin Prime. It was a holy site." "Holy site for who?" Sarah asked, though she already feared the answer. "For the Vraxian Empire. The most feared warriors in galactic history. They disappeared 500 years ago. Everyone thought they were extinct. Sarah's blood ran cold. They're not extinct, are they? Maria shook her head. We just woke them up. The communication system crackled to life. A deep, angry voice spoke in a language the translators struggled to understand. But the meaning was clear. Humanity had just started a war with the deadliest creatures the galaxy had ever known. And the Vraxians were coming for revenge. Captain Sarah Chen's ship, the New Hope, reached Earth just one day before the Vraxians arrived. She immediately went to meet Admiral Rodriguez at Earth's main defense station. How many ships do we have? Sarah asked. 212, Admiral Rodriguez answered. All positioned around Earth. Every weapon we have is ready. Sarah looked at the tactical display. Human ships formed 3 defensive rings around the planet. It looked strong. But she had seen the Vraxian warships up close. She knew the truth. Admiral, we need to be smart about this, Sarah said. We can't fight them directly. They're too powerful. I know, Admiral Rodriguez nodded. But we have to try. Suddenly, alarms screamed throughout the station. Tom, who had come with Sarah, shouted from his console. They're here. 40 Vraxian warships appeared out of hyperspace. They formed a perfect battle line like soldiers on parade. Each ship glowed with red energy. The communication system activated. Commander Zratha's face appeared on every screen across the human fleet. Humans, Zrath said simply. Have you decided? Surrender or die? Admiral Rodriguez stepped forward. We choose to fight. Zrath smiled his terrible smile. Foolish, but brave. I will enjoy destroying you. He made a gesture with one of his 4 arms. Attack. The Vraxian ships opened fire. Red energy beams shot across space. They hit the first ring of human ships. 3 destroyers exploded immediately. Their shields couldn't stop the Vraxian weapons. Return fire. Admiral Rodriguez ordered. Human ships fired missiles and laser cannons. The weapons hit the Vraxian shields and bounced off harmlessly. Not even a scratch. Our weapons aren't strong enough. Tom yelled. More red beams cut through space. 5 more human ships exploded. Then 10 more. The first defensive ring was breaking apart. Fall back to Ring 2. Admiral Rodriguez commanded. The surviving ships retreated. But the Vraxians followed, firing constantly. Their ships were faster, stronger, better in every way. Sarah watched in horror as ship after ship was destroyed. Hundreds of humans were dying. And they hadn't hurt a single Vraxian vessel. This is a massacre, someone whispered. Aboard his flagship, Commander Zrath watched the battle with satisfaction. These humans are weak. Like all the others, they will break soon. His second-in-command, a female Vraxian named Kara, nodded. Yes, Commander. But what? Zrath asked. They're not running away, Kara said. Every other species we fought always retreated after losing this many ships. But the humans keep fighting. Zrath looked closer at the tactical display. She was right. Even the damaged human ships kept firing. Even when they were clearly losing, they didn't flee. Interesting, Zrath muttered. But ultimately meaningless. On the defense station, Admiral Rodriguez made a desperate decision. Captain Chin, I need you to take command of Fighter Wing 7. Fighter Wing. Sarah was confused. But I'm a ship captain. I know, Admiral Rodriguez said. But you've seen the Vraxians up close. You understand them. Our big ships can't hurt them. But maybe small, fast fighters can find a weakness. Sarah understood. It was a suicide mission. Small fighters against those massive warships. But someone had to try. I'll do it, Sarah said. 10 minutes later, Sarah sat in a small fighter craft. Around her were 50 other fighters piloted by the best humans had. Young pilots. Brave pilots. Listen up, Sarah said over the radio. The big ships can't penetrate their shields. But shields need power. If we attack the same spot repeatedly, maybe we can overload it. That means flying very close, another pilot said. Close enough for their point defense weapons to hit us. I know, Sarah replied. But we're humans. We don't give up. Ever. Follow me. The 50 fighters shot forward, dodging between the larger ships. They were fast, much faster than the Vraxian warships expected. What are those? Zrath demanded. Small craft. Yes, Commander, Kara answered. 50 of them. They're heading directly for our flagship. Ignore them, Zrath ordered. Focus on the large ships. But the fighters didn't attack the flagship. At the last second they changed direction. All 50 fighters targeted a single Vraxian destroyer. They fired everything. Missiles, lasers, plasma cannons. All hitting the exact same spot on the destroyer's shields. The Vraxian shields glowed brighter and brighter. The destroyer tried to shoot the fighters, but they moved too fast. They dodged and weaved like insects. More power to shields, the destroyer captain ordered. Too late. The shields in that one spot overloaded. They flickered for just 2 seconds. That was enough. Sarah's final missile went through. It hit the destroyer's hull and exploded inside. The massive Vraxian ship shuddered. Fire spread across its surface. Then, with a brilliant flash, the destroyer exploded. Silence fell across both fleets. For the first time in 500 years, a Vraxian warship had been destroyed. Aboard the flagship, Zrath stood up slowly. His eyes were wide with shock. What just happened? They destroyed the Night Blade, Kara whispered. The humans destroyed one of our ships. Zrath stared at the debris field. Impossible. No species had ever heard of Vraxian fleet before. These humans, they were different. All ships, focus fire on those small craft. Zrath roared. Destroy them all. But Sarah and her fighters were already retreating, weaving back through the human defensive lines. They had lost 20 fighters in the attack. But they had proven something important. The Vraxians could bleed. On the defense station, every human was cheering. They were still losing the battle. They had lost 60 ships. But they had destroyed one Vraxian vessel. One was enough. It meant the Vraxians weren't invincible. It meant humans had a chance. Admiral Rodriguez smiled grimly. Good work, Captain Chin. But this is just the beginning. The real war starts now. Zrath watched the small human fighters disappear into their defensive formation. Something was wrong. These humans didn't fight like normal species. They didn't care about losses. They didn't retreat when they should. They were either very stupid or very dangerous. For the first time in centuries, Zrath felt something he hadn't felt since he was young. Doubt. Part 2, The Threat. The Vraxian ships surrounded the New Hope. Captain Sarah Chin counted 40 massive warships on her scanner. Each one was 5 times bigger than her ship. They're not attacking yet, Tom said nervously. They're just watching us. Sarah tried to stay calm, but her heart was racing. Open a communication channel. Maybe we can explain this was an accident. The main screen flickered. Then a face appeared. Sarah gasped. The Vraxian commander was terrifying. He had 4 arms, dark armor covered his body, and his eyes glowed red with anger. Sharp teeth filled his mouth. I am Commander Zrath of the Vraxian Empire, the alien said. His voice was deep and cold. You have violated our most sacred place. You have awakened us from our long sleep. Commander, I am Captain Sarah Chin, Sarah said quickly. We didn't know. We made a mistake. We're sorry. Zrath laughed, but it was not a happy sound. Sorry? Your species enters our holy temple. You trigger our ancient alarm. And you say sorry? Please, we didn't understand. Silence. Zrath roared. The screen shook. 500 years ago, we Vraxians ruled this galaxy. We conquered 70 star systems. We destroyed 12 civilizations that opposed us. Then we chose to sleep to wait for worthy opponents. Sarah felt sick. 12 civilizations. Destroyed. You humans woke us, Zrath continued. So now you will face our judgment. What is your home world called? Sarah hesitated. Should she tell him? She lied, he might find out anyway. If she told the truth, she was putting Earth in danger. Earth, she finally answered. Our planet is called Earth. Zratha's eyes narrowed. Earth. We will remember this name. He pressed something on his command panel. My scouts are already searching for your world. Wait. Sarah shouted. What do you want from us? What? Zrath smiled, showing all his terrible teeth. We want you to understand fear. We want you to know what happens when you anger the Vraxians. Your entire species will learn this lesson. The screen went black. Captain, they're leaving, Tom said. All the ships are jumping to hyperspace. Where are they going? Sarah demanded. Maria checked her computer frantically. I'm tracking their trajectory. They're spreading out. Searching. Oh no. They're looking for Earth. Sarah grabbed the communication panel. Send an emergency message to Earth Command. Maximum priority. Tell them the Vraxians are coming. Tell them to prepare for war. The New Hope immediately turned toward home. But Sarah knew they couldn't travel as fast as the Vraxian ships. The enemy would reach Earth first. 3 days later, the message reached Earth. The Human Defense Council gathered in Geneva. Fleet Admiral James Rodriguez read Sarah's report with growing horror. Are we sure this is real? Asked Counselor Park. The Vraxians are supposed to be a legend. A story. It's real, Admiral Rodriguez said quietly. Our deep space stations have detected their ships. 40 vessels. All heading toward our sector. 40 ships, another counselor laughed nervously. We have 200 defense ships. We can handle 40. Admiral Rodriguez shook his head. You don't understand. I accessed the old galactic archives. The Vraxians didn't just win wars. They annihilated entire species. When they conquered a planet, they left nothing alive. The room became silent. What do they want? Counselor Park asked. They sent us a message 1 hour ago. Admiral Rodriguez played the recording. Zratha's face appeared on the screen. Humans of Earth. You violated our sacred ground. For this crime you have 2 choices. First choice, surrender completely. Become our slaves. Work for us forever. Second choice, fight us and die. The recording ended. Slaves or death, Counselor Park whispered. That's no choice at all. What do we do? Someone asked. Admiral Rodriguez stood up. His voice was strong. We fight. Fight? Are you crazy? They destroyed 12 civilizations. Yes, they did, Admiral Rodriguez agreed. But those civilizations aren't here to tell us their stories. Maybe they surrendered too quickly. Maybe they didn't fight hard enough. Or maybe they died, another counselor said. Then we die fighting, Admiral Rodriguez replied. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be a slave. I'm not going to watch humanity kneel before aliens who think we're weak. Counselor Park stood up next. I agree with the Admiral. We might lose. We probably will lose. But we're humans. We don't give up. We never give up. One by one the other counselors stood. The vote was unanimous. How much time do we have? Counselor Park asked. 2 weeks, Admiral Rodriguez answered. Maybe less. Then we have 2 weeks to prepare, Counselor Park said. Send the word to every human colony, every ship, every soldier. We're going to war. Messages went out across all human territory. Every available ship was recalled. Factories started building weapons 24 hours a day. Soldiers trained constantly. In space stations, on Mars, on the Moon, on Earth, everyone prepared. Old people, young people, scientists, farmers, teachers, everyone. They all knew the truth. The Vraxians were stronger. The Vraxians had more experience. The Vraxians had destroyed civilizations before. But the Vraxians had never fought humans. And humans had one advantage the Vraxians didn't understand yet. Humans never, ever gave up. Even when they should. On her ship racing back to Earth, Captain Sarah Chen looked at her crew. They were scared. But they were ready. We started this war, Sarah said. Now we're going to finish it. How? Jake asked. How do we beat them? Sarah didn't have an answer. Not yet. But she would find one. Humans always found a way. The Vraxians were coming. Let them come. Humanity would be waiting. Part 4, Human Nature Revealed. Commander Zrath sat in his command chamber studying data about humans. After the first battle he had pulled his fleet back. Not to retreat but to understand. In 500 years of war, no species had ever destroyed a Vraxian ship. What did you find? He asked Kara, his second in command. Kara looked worried. Commander, these humans are strange. Very strange. Explain, Zrath demanded. They're weak physically. They have only 2 arms, not 4. Their bodies are soft. They can't breathe most atmospheres. On paper they should be one of the weakest species in the galaxy. Then why did they destroy the Nightblade? Zrath asked. Kara pulled up more data. I studied their biology and history. Commander, humans evolved as persistence hunters. What does that mean? It means they never stop. On their home world, humans hunted animals much bigger and stronger than them. But humans would chase them for days. Literally days without stopping. The prey would run until it died from exhaustion. Then the humans would eat it. Zrath felt uncomfortable. They hunt by never giving up? Yes, Kara nodded. And it's not just hunting. I looked at their wars. Humans have fought each other for thousands of years. They've had hundreds of wars. And they never surrender even when losing. She showed him historical records. Look at this. World War II. The British city called London was bombed every day for months. Did the humans surrender? No. They kept fighting. They grew stronger. Zrath watched more records. Humans fighting in snow, in deserts, in jungles. Humans fighting with broken weapons. Humans fighting when outnumbered 10 to 1. Always fighting. Never stopping. There's more, Kara said quietly. Humans adapt incredibly fast. In their first World War, they used horses and basic guns. Just 30 years later, they had nuclear weapons and rocket ships. 30 years, Commander. Most species take centuries to advance that much. Zrath felt something cold in his chest. How fast are they adapting now? Very fast, Kara answered. Our scouts report that humans are already modifying their weapons based on our first battle. They're changing tactics. Learning. Zrath stood up and walked to the window. Outside, his fleet waited. 40 ships. No, 39 now. The humans had taken one. We attack again tomorrow, Zrath decided. But this time we destroy them completely. No mercy. On Earth, humans worked day and night. Scientists studied the data from the first battle. Engineers built new weapons. Soldiers trained with new tactics. Captain Sarah Chin met with Admiral Rodriguez and a team of scientists. We learned something important, Dr. Martinez said, pointing at diagrams. The Vraxian shields have a weakness. They can't handle multiple impacts in the exact same location. That's how we destroyed their ship. So we need to focus our fire, Sarah said. Exactly, Dr. Martinez nodded. But there's more. I analyzed their weapons. They use pure energy beams. Very powerful, but they take 3 seconds to recharge between shots. Admiral Rodriguez leaned forward. 3 seconds. Yes. If our ships can dodge during those 3 seconds, we can survive longer. Sarah smiled. We can work with that. Over the next day, humans prepared. They formed new fighter squadrons. They programmed evasive patterns into their ship computers. They positioned their fleet differently. Most importantly, they worked together. Human colonies on Mars sent their best ships. The moon base contributed weapons. Even civilian ships volunteered to help. Old cargo ships. Mining vessels. Anything that could fly and shoot. We're not military ships, one civilian captain said. But we're humans. This is our fight too. Far across the galaxy, other alien species watched the conflict. They remembered the Vraxians. They remembered the destruction. The humans are doomed, said the Zeta ambassador. No one defeats the Vraxians. But the Karathi observer wasn't so sure. Did you see how they destroyed that warship? With small fighters. A lucky shot, the Zeta ambassador replied. Maybe, the Karathi observer said. Or maybe, these humans are different. More species began watching. Some hoped the humans would win. Others feared what would happen if the Vraxians lost. The Vraxians had been asleep for 500 years. If humans could defeat them, it would change everything in the galaxy. The second battle began at dawn. The Vraxian fleet approached Earth again. But this time the human formation was different. Their ships spread out more. They moved in small groups instead of big defensive rings. Interesting, Zrath observed. They learned from the first battle. It won't save them. Attack, he ordered. The Vraxian ships fired their red energy beams. But the human ships were ready. They dodged, moving in coordinated patterns. Some ships still got hit and exploded. But many survived. Then the human counterattack began. 10 fighter squadrons launched at once. But they didn't all attack the same target. Each squadron picked a different Vraxian ship. They swarmed like bees, hitting the same spot on the shields over and over. What are they doing? Zrath demanded. 2 more Vraxian shields overloaded. 2 more ships took damage. 1 destroyer's engine exploded. They're adapting. Kara shouted. They're using our own tactics against us. Human ships fired in groups now, timing their shots to hit during the 3-second recharge period. Coordinated. Precise. Together. A Vraxian cruiser took heavy damage. Another destroyer retreated with its shields failing. Impossible. Zrath roared. Focus all fire on their command station. But the human command station was protected by layers of ships. Ships piloted by humans who wouldn't retreat. Humans who kept fighting even when their vessels were damaged. Humans who protected each other. Zrath watched in growing horror as his fleet struggled. The humans were winning small victories everywhere. Not destroying many ships, but forcing the Vraxians to retreat step by step. For the first time in his life, Commander Zrath felt something he had never felt before. Fear. These humans, they weren't like other species. They didn't fight for territory or resources. They fought because they refused to lose. They fought because giving up wasn't in their nature. And worst of all, they were learning. Every battle made them stronger. Every loss taught them something new. Commander, Kara said quietly, we should retreat. Regroup. Zrath wanted to refuse. Vraxians never retreated. But as he watched another of his ships take damage, he realized the truth. If this continued, the humans might actually win. All ships pull back, Zrath ordered, his voice bitter. The Vraxian fleet retreated into hyperspace. On Earth, humans celebrated. They had lost 30 more ships. But the Vraxians had lost 3 and damaged 5 others. Admiral Rodriguez looked at Sarah. We're still losing ships. But we're also learning faster than they can adapt. Sarah nodded. The question is, will we learn fast enough? Across the galaxy, other alien species watched in amazement. The humans had forced the mighty Vraxians to retreat. Twice. Something incredible was happening. Humanity was teaching the galaxy a new lesson. Never underestimate a species that refuses to give up. Part 5. The Turning Point. 3 weeks had passed since the second battle. Commander Zrath sat in his command chamber, surrounded by damage reports. His fleet had lost 7 ships now. 7 ships in 3 weeks. This is unacceptable, Zrath said coldly. We are Vraxians. We don't lose battles. Kara looked exhausted. Commander, we need to understand what's happening. Every time we fight the humans, they're stronger. Their weapons are better. Their tactics improve. Then we destroy them before they can improve more, Zrath decided. Gather the entire fleet. Every ship. We attack Earth with everything we have. Kara hesitated. Commander, maybe we should negotiate? Zratha's eyes flared with anger. Negotiate? With prey? Never. We are hunters. They are food. That's the way of the galaxy. But what if they're not prey? Kara asked quietly. What if they're hunters too? Zrath didn't answer. He couldn't accept that possibility. If the Vraxians weren't the strongest, then what were they? On Earth, humans prepared for what everyone knew would be the final battle. Admiral Rodriguez met with leaders from every human colony. Intelligence reports say the Vraxians are bringing their full fleet, he said. All 32 remaining ships. We have 140 ships left, Counselor Park said. Can we win? I don't know, Admiral Rodriguez admitted. But we've been working on something special. Dr. Martinez entered the room carrying a data pad. We've analyzed every battle with the Vraxians. We found a pattern. Their ships are individually powerful, but they don't work together well. They each fight alone. What does that mean? Someone asked. It means they don't understand teamwork like we do, Dr. Martinez explained. Humans evolved in tribes. We survived by working together. The Vraxians evolved as lone predators. They're strong individually but weak as a group. Sarah Chin stepped forward. So we use that against them. We make them fight our way, not their way. Exactly, Dr. Martinez smiled. I've designed a new battle strategy. It's risky. Very risky. But it might work. He showed them the plan. It was crazy. Dangerous. Some ships would definitely be destroyed. But it could work. When do they arrive? Counselor Park asked. Tomorrow, Admiral Rodriguez answered. At dawn. That night, messages went across all human space. Not just to soldiers but to everyone. Tomorrow we face our greatest challenge, the message said. The Vraxians think we're weak. They think we'll break. But they don't understand humans. We've faced extinction before. Ice ages. Diseases. Wars. Every time we survived. Not because we're the strongest, but because we never give up. Tomorrow we show the galaxy what humanity really means. Across Earth, on Mars, on the Moon, on every space station and colony, humans prepared. Mothers hugged their children. Soldiers checked their weapons. Scientists made final calculations. Everyone knew this was it. Win or die. Dawn came. The Vraxian fleet appeared in perfect formation. 32 massive warships, all glowing with deadly red energy. Commander Zrath looked at Earth through his view screen. Today the humans learn their place. Today we remind the galaxy why they fear the Vraxians. All ships attack formation, he ordered. But as the Vraxian fleet moved forward, something strange happened. The human fleet scattered. Ships flew in every direction like leaves in the wind. No formation. No order. Just chaos. What are they doing? Zrath was confused. Are they retreating? No, Commander. Kara studied her sensors. They're surrounding us. She was right. The human ships had spread out in a huge sphere around the Vraxian fleet. Now the Vraxians were in the center, with humans attacking from every direction. Clever, Zrath admitted. But it won't work. Fire at will. The Vraxian ships began firing in all directions. They hit human ships easily. 10 human vessels exploded. Then 15 more. But the humans kept coming. And then their real strategy revealed itself. Human ships started working in teams of 3. One ship would draw the Vraxian fire. While the Vraxian ship was shooting at that target, the other 2 would attack from different angles, hitting the same spot on the shields. It was beautiful. Coordinated. Perfect teamwork. "They're hunting us," Kara whispered. "Like wolves hunting prey." One Vraxian cruiser's shields failed. Human missiles tore through its armor. The ship exploded. Another Vraxian destroyer tried to retreat, but 3 human ships blocked its path. More human ships attacked from behind. The destroyer died in flames. "Break formation. Defend yourselves," Zrath shouted. But that was exactly what the humans wanted. When the Vraxian ships separated, they became easier targets. Human teams surrounded individual Vraxian ships and destroyed them one by one. It was a massacre. But this time the Vraxians were losing. "Commander, we've lost 8 ships," Kara reported. 9. 10. Zrath couldn't believe it. His perfect fleet was being torn apart. Not by stronger weapons, but by tactics, by teamwork, by humans who refused to fight fair. Then something else happened. New ships appeared on the sensors. But they weren't human ships. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission," Kara said. "It's from the Karathi." A new face appeared on the screen. An alien with blue skin and gentle eyes. "Commander Zrath, this is Ambassador Torval of the Karathi Federation. We're here to help the humans." "What?" Zrath was shocked. "Why would you help them?" "Because they showed us something we forgot," Ambassador Torval said. "Courage. The Vraxians ruled through fear for too long. Today the humans taught us that fear can be defeated. We won't let you destroy them." More ships appeared. The Zeta Alliance, the Prillan Collective, even the peaceful Minbari sent vessels. 20 alien species, all coming to help humanity. "This is impossible," Zrath whispered. "The galaxy fears us." "No," Kara said quietly. "They feared us. Past tense. But now they see humans standing against us. And humans are winning. The galaxy doesn't fear the Vraxians anymore, Commander. They admire the humans." Zrath looked at his tactical display. His fleet was broken. Half his ships were destroyed or damaged. And now he faced not just humans but a coalition of 20 species. For 500 years, the Vraxians had been the strongest. The most feared. Not anymore. "All ships," Zrath said, his voice hollow. "Retreat." As the surviving Vraxian ships jumped to hyperspace, humans and their new allies celebrated. The turning point had come. The galaxy had changed forever. And it changed because humans refused to give up. Commander Zratha's remaining fleet gathered at a secret location far from Earth. He had only 15 ships left. 15 from the 40 he started with. "What do we do now, Commander?" Kara asked. Zrath sat in silence. For the first time in his life he didn't have an answer. The Vraxians had never lost a war before. Never. "They'll come for us," one of his captains said. "The humans and their allies. They'll hunt us down." "Let them come," Zrath said bitterly. "We'll fight to the last ship." But Kara shook her head. "Commander, we can't win. Look at the numbers. 20 species stand with the humans now. Even if we destroy Earth, the galaxy will destroy us." "Then what do you suggest?" Zrath demanded. "Surrender?" "No," Kara said. "I suggest we talk." On Earth, Admiral Rodriguez received an unexpected message. It was from Commander Zrath. "The Vraxians want to negotiate," he told Captain Sarah Chin and Counselor Park. "It's a trap," Sarah said immediately. "Maybe," Admiral Rodriguez agreed. "But maybe they're actually beaten. Our intelligence says they only have 15 ships left." "We should destroy them," Counselor Park said. "Finish what we started. Make sure they never threaten anyone again." Sarah thought about this. Would be easy. The humans and their allies had hundreds of ships now. They could hunt down every Vraxian vessel and eliminate them completely. But something bothered her. "What happens after?" Sarah asked. "After what?" Counselor Park replied. "After we destroy them," Sarah explained. "We become exactly what they were. Killers. Conquerors. Is that who we want to be?" Admiral Rodriguez nodded slowly. "Captain Chin is right. We fought for survival, not for revenge. If we destroy the Vraxians now, we're no better than them. So we just let them go?" Counselor Park asked. "After everything they did?" "No," Sarah said. "We make them pay. But not with death. With peace." 3 days later, a meeting was arranged. Commander Zrath came alone to a neutral space station. Sarah Chin represented humanity, along with ambassadors from the 20 allied species. Zrath entered the room. He looked smaller somehow, less frightening, defeated. "I am here," Zrath said simply. Sarah stood up. "Commander Zrath, you started this war because we accidentally entered your sacred place. You could have explained. You could have talked. Instead, you chose violence." "That is the Vraxian way," Zrath replied. "The strong dominate the weak." "But we're not weak," Sarah said firmly. "And you're not as strong as you thought. You lost this war, Commander. The question is, what happens now?" Zrath said nothing. Sarah continued, "We could destroy your remaining ships. We have the power to do that. But humans don't destroy enemies when they can make friends instead. So here are our terms." She presented a document. Zrath read it carefully. His eyes widened. "You want peace?" he asked in disbelief. "Yes," Sarah nodded. "Peace. But not just words. Real peace. The Vraxians will share their technology with the galaxy. You'll help rebuild the civilizations you destroyed. You'll teach us what you know. And in return you'll be part of the galactic community. Not as conquerors. As equals." "Equals?" Zrath repeated the word like it was foreign. "Vraxians are not equals. We are superior." "We're superior," Kara corrected, stepping forward. She had been waiting outside. "Commander, they beat us. Not with bigger weapons but with something we don't have. They work together. They never give up. And even now when they could kill us they offer peace." She looked at Sarah with respect. Maybe we Vraxians have been wrong for 500 years. Maybe strength isn't just about weapons and fear. Maybe real strength is knowing when to fight and when to make peace." Zrath looked at his second-in-command. Then at Sarah. Then at all the ambassadors watching him. He was beaten. He knew it. The galaxy knew it. But the humans were offering him something he never expected. A second chance. Slowly, Commander Zrath lowered his head. "We accept your terms." 6 months later, the galaxy was different. The Vraxians kept their word. They shared their advanced technology. They helped rebuild damaged worlds. Slowly, they learned to live with other species as partners, not as rulers. Humanity became famous across the galaxy. Not as conquerors, but as the species that defeated the undefeatable and then showed mercy. Other species came to Earth to learn, to trade, to make alliances. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of a new ship. The New Dawn, built with both human and Vraxian technology. She was heading out to explore new regions of space. Admiral Rodriguez came to see her off. "You started all this, you know. When you entered that temple." Sarah smiled. "I made a mistake. But maybe it was a good mistake. Maybe the galaxy needed to learn that the Vraxians could be beaten. That fear doesn't last forever." "And what did we learn?" Admiral Rodriguez asked. "That humans are survivors," Sarah answered. "We're not the biggest. We're not the strongest. But we never give up. Ever. And that makes us the most dangerous species in the galaxy." As her ship jumped to hyperspace, Sarah thought about Commander Zrath's first message. He had called humans weak. He had said they would learn fear. He was wrong. The Vraxians learned something instead. They learned that the deadliest creatures in the galaxy weren't the ones with the biggest weapons or the strongest ships. The deadliest creatures were the ones who refused to stay down. Who turned fear into courage. Who faced impossible odds and won anyway. The deadliest creatures in the galaxy were humans. And now the whole galaxy knew it. Thank you for watching this complete HFY story. The journey of humanity's first contact with the Vraxian Empire shows us that true strength comes not from power, but from courage, teamwork, and the will to never give up.